What's up, everybody? Welcome to the No Scrubs Allowed podcast. Seal, how you doing, bud?
Doing all right, man. Trying to stay happy, stay positive. Just thinking about the holidays. I mean, that's something to be happy about.
Well,
Basketball's back. The Cavs are undefeated. We've beaten everybody we faced so far in the preseason.
we're losing on purpose in the preseason so that we can keep that 8-0 from the bubble going when the regular season starts. But before we start pro basketball talk, which I know you got a new gift you want to show everybody, but not yet, I want to first give a shout out to Keontae Johnson, college basketball.
Yes.
Gators player just collapsed on the court and he got put today. He got in an induced coma, so medically induced. They want him to be in the coma so they can really let his body heal and fix his stuff. So it is truly a critical situation if he's still in the hospital, still in such bad shape that they wanted to put him under so that they could try to take care of him. So shout out to him, prayers up to him, his family, and all those guys. I wanted to start out with him.
Absolutely.
So regardless of his NBA prospects and all that other stuff, which he had, and he was making the Gators amazing. So hopefully he's just back out of the hospital and in the world, and then we'll think about basketball after that. But let's move on to the NBA. Let's talk about happy things, like you said, like the Christmas is coming, everything's here. Christmas is coming, and it looks like you got a new present to show the podcast.
Woo! Yeah, I did. It's this amazingly, beautifully huge. It's not going to go all the way up. There we go. Starts all the way up there and comes all the way down there. It's great. It's a championship banner. It's not the one that they hang up in the rafters at the Q,
Right.
but it's amazing. One of the guys at the bar that comes in all the time knows I'm a huge Cavs fan and knows that we haven't done anything in the last 4 years, and I have pretty much all the jerseys that I would like so far. So this is amazing. Wouldn't even thought to ever buy myself something like this. So
Yeah,
I
that's
am
crazy.
happy as shit, and it's huge. It's 5 feet tall, 3 feet wide.
Jeez.
Well, I guess that was. Yeah, that's about right. It just doesn't look like it in the camera.
Yeah, you're closer to the camera, so it looks. That's pretty cool, man. Yeah. Did you see, by the way, just I got sparked to this when you were talking about the one they hang. Did you see the banner that Gonzaga hung in their arena?
No.
So they pulled the UCF, bro.
No.
So last season, they put up a banner from last basketball season that said "#1 in the AP when the world ended." Like that's what it says. So hey, they're #1,
Really?
baby.
Also, this sparked something too when you said with the world ending. Have you seen the Match.com, the new ad?
Oh
It's
yeah, with
with
the devil
Satan
and
in 2020.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool.
and at the
That's a
end of
cool
it, they're
ad.
like, I don't want this year to end. It's so, dude, that was
Yeah.
whoever came up with that idea needs to become the president of
Yeah,
Match.com.
that marketing
was,
team knew what they were doing.
dude, that was absolutely amazing. But anyways, yeah, basketball's back, and now I didn't see the Gonzaga thing. I have seen a lot of the young faces actually showing up a lot. That kid from the Lakers. We have
Yeah,
a
props to that guy. I don't even know who he
yeah.
is.
Apparently, he was on the team last year when the Lakers
I
put up
think
a
he's a G League guy
Twitter
for them.
Sports Center. Well, he was there in the bubble against the Rockets last year. It looked like there was a
Oh,
picture of him last year. Yeah. So him. I know you're not really big on LaMelo, but he's showing flashes of stuff that's not showing up on the stat line with those dimes and stuff. But he'll
did you
get it
see a
together,
couple
I
of his
feel like.
passes that didn't
And
get
then Gordon
converted because
Hayward.
Charlotte's terrible?
Yeah. Yeah, he got Gordon Hayward. So, maybe they'll do something. But the big stars are getting old, man. So it's really good and exciting to see these young bucks doing it. And I don't want any ill will on anybody, but it sucks seeing KD already pretty much back to KD, it looks like. Oh,
It's
man, that
funny
was scary to
because
see.
I want to put a stop to these media teams hyping me up just to go look at these stupid stats that don't mean nothing. Give me a video, give me something real. But I went to look, I didn't get to see the Nets game, and it said something like KD shines, looks just like 2 years ago in his preseason. I was like, oh shit, this is awesome. I go and check it, like 15 points, 4 rebounds. But then like the videos show that, okay, yeah, he looks smooth again.
Dude,
he looks like
those
his guy.
buckets.
But I thought he was going off.
There's this one he came around the pick and just flashed in and popped out like old school KD did, and then that first bucket just driving by, no problem, yamming it down. Well, his stupid little weird.
He has a weird because he's so lanky. But
he just. But yeah, that's scary to see. And then if Kyrie can stay healthy, because KD, I mean, if he's
And then when
back,
James Harden gets there.
yeah, Boogie's shown if you can have 400 pounds on that injury, KD's 120 pounds should be able to withstand. But who knows what anything could happen with those. But the way sports science is these days, KD should be good, and that stinks because the Nets are going to be scary, man.
Yeah, they should finish in the top few in the regular season. And then we know when it's playoff time, you know about Kyrie. We all got to see what KD can do. So, yeah I mean, it's going to be scary. All they have to do is make it to the playoffs. They just need Kyrie to not go crazy and KD to stay healthy, and they'll be in the playoffs. And then it's time for them to turn it on.
Yeah, and good news is James Harden is pretty much likely not going to the Nets now. Now
Right.
the Rockets want Kyrie, and that's just a swap, and that the Nets aren't down to do that whatsoever. And there's nobody else that they want on the Rockets or draft picks or anything like that. So they seem to be at a standstill. Now the Miami thing's picking back up, and I could not fathom that lasting more than 3 or 4 games before James Harden has a black eye and Jimmy Butler's in the Miami-Dade County Jail.
I don't see Pat Riley making that move to give up all those young guys that actually have a future for James Harden. Does he think that would make him better than last year?
Well, I saw something down here that they are interested, and Tyler Hero is not untouchable. Which
I mean, if it's just Tyler Hero and picks for James Harden, that'd be great. But if it's Tyler Hero and all the Duncan Robinson, all those other guys, Kendrick Nunn, whoever, and picks, absolutely not. I think Philly's going to be the one to bite because the main package would be right now they say they want Ben Simmons and 3 first-round picks. They could potentially drop it down to 2 first-round picks and give them like Mike Scott and some other guys. So if Philly can talk them into that, then your boy Elton Brand doing his thing, that's probably where it's going to end up. We just don't know when. It's going to be at the negotiation table for a while. So I think it's going to end up in Philly if it's my guess. And I think it helps both teams. We'll see how John Wall and Ben Simmons could mesh, but I think that helps both teams.
They looked good, dude. Like they didn't look bad. John Wall looked pretty damn good. He didn't look rusty at all. And what I saw from him, and I don't feel like they're going to be a team that needs what James Harden brings. That's going to slow them down inevitably again, like it did 2-3 years ago. So we'll see. But he's going to play Tuesday, which I'm shocked about. I'm shocked that they're even going to allow him to. I feel like if John Wall was the old John Wall, well, he was with Washington for a while. Right. Well, he would have been like, fuck no, he's not playing. Call him up like, hey, bub, you can stay at home. You're good. We'll get you that trade package here soon.
It's weird because the team, like Houston, doesn't need him to play. Like, it's not like they need to prove that he's coming back from injury to get their trade picks or anything. Like, he's James Harden. He's worth what he's worth already. Playing's not going to help that out at all. Because a lot of people are saying, like, hey, let him play the first month and then trade him. And it's like, why? Sell when it's already high before the season. I think his trade value goes down as the season goes along. And
I feel like the Rockets would definitely benefit. I just don't see what they're going to get. Will they really benefit from getting a Ben Simmons in that offense? I don't really.
I think they'd benefit more from the defense with Ben Simmons.
They need a plethora of people. They need that Miami. That's why I feel like that would be the only reason. So they could get the Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero and a first round and the second round pick and be able to boost up their team significantly.
Why can't they? I don't think they do this because, well, they just won't. But here, let me move this slide a little closer. But why don't they? Oh, that didn't work. All right. Why don't they go get Ben Simmons and then let Ben Simmons not start as a guard, start Eric Gordon and John Wall, and have him start as a big man and just play defense on their best player. And that would help out a lot, but I don't think they'd do that. They would let him have the ball. Like,
that'd be smart. That'd be really smart to do, and just let him sit there on the wing.
Yeah. And then just play defense. Say, listen, kid, like if you get a flash to the basket to dunk it, do it. But otherwise, we want your defense.
Yeah. That'd be smart.
Who's their coach? Who's Houston's coach now?
Fuck if I know.
Maybe it's somebody that doesn't care about his job and would do that, because I'm pretty sure the front office would be mad. They'd want Ben Simmons to have the ball. But that's enough James Harden talk. Nobody likes James Harden. Nobody cares about James Harden. Anthony Edwards didn't do anything in his debut. I saw that. James Wiseman hasn't played yet, I'm pretty sure.
Our dude from Auburn, he's going to be good.
All right.
So we got a big man. Yeah, he's feisty. I don't know if you saw, there was a dude that got kicked out, got tossed out because he was trying to battle the ball with the kid. I don't know. I'm going to call him Okie Dokie.
Oh, nice.
But it's something, Oka something, Okie Dokie. But yeah, they were.
Okoro? Is it Okoro? I
don't know. But they were battling for the ball, and the dude kind of like stepped over him and stuff, and he popped right up and was right there with him. Second game in the league, and got a tech. And no, he didn't get the tech. This dude Stevens out of Penn State came up to defend his rookie teammate, got a tech. Second game in the league, getting a fine.
Jeez.
So yeah, and that's what I like to see. That's what I like that our team is going to be. That's why I feel like we're not going to be so much of a shit show this year.
Right.
That we're not going to have 140 put up on us. I don't think by anybody. And our defense is so insane. Drummond is going to be right on pace to where he was last year.
Right.
With top 5. What was he, like second or third in the league for steals a game? So that's going to be awesome to have. And then what's his name? Dean Wade. That white dude there. He's pretty defensive minded as well. And everybody is. All we really need is Darius Garland, Windler, and Drummond to really have their hands on the ball. Well, Kevin Love's only going to play probably about 15
still don't want
20
Sexton to
minutes
do
a game.
anything?
Fuck no. We need a trade package. Kevin Porter's going to come back eventually.
Right.
And he'll be able to. But I like our young squad. We'll be able to put up 115, 120 points, but we're not getting blown out 85 to 130 like a lot of times last year.
Our rookie looked like ass in the first game, which is the second game. I didn't watch him in the first game. I don't even think he played, but he had 3 fouls in the first quarter. Looked like the game was too fast for him. Couldn't figure out what to do. And I mean, he was playing the Jazz, so he was up against Rudy Gobert and Derek Favors and some pretty good offensive, or not offensive for Rudy Gobert, but pretty good players. And he got schooled. I stopped watching at the end of the first quarter, which is good because we were only down like 5, and then we ended up being down like 20 at halftime. So I was kind of glad I stopped playing. But everybody looks like they took the off season off, which sucks. But Chris Paul looked good. He was making passes, DeAndre Ayton, like he's always going to do. He's just only playing like 7 minutes in the preseason because he's like 40. So when he gets out there, he'll be fine. He'll do his thing. And I think our starting 5 will be great and our backups will be terrible. So I hope the big 3 are ready to play 40 minutes a game.
Yeah,
when it counts.
We were down 27-7 at one point in the first quarter and ended up winding it out to 35-32 at the end of the first, tying it up for the half and blowing it out. Not blowing it out. We won by 10 at the end. But yeah, we're not putting our heads in our asses and getting worried and letting it go. We grind it out. And that's what I like to see. That's pretty much what won us a ship, was grinding it out in LeBron. But grinding it out, down 3-1, just grind it out, come back. And that's that Cleveland mentality, and that's what I like to see.
The Suns, any Suns fans, I don't know if there's Sun fans here because we don't really, we're not based in Arizona. What's up?
Real quick, shout out the Cavs. Nick, I don't know his last name, founder of the Cavs.
Right.
He's going through stuff right now, but the Cavs are going to continue to take care of him pretty much and support him. Nice. And that's absolutely amazing. So shout out to them for that. I don't know a lot of people that would do that for.
Well, if you're the original founder, maybe a little more. But if he actually sold it, like, is it still in the family or did he sell it out? So yeah, that's pretty
been sold,
rare.
And it's been sold twice now. He sold the Cavs to keep the Indians, like back in the 70s or 80s, and which pretty much saved Cleveland at that point in time. And then it's been sold now. I think it's what's his name, Dave something.
Well, that's really cool that they're gonna support him like that. But what I was gonna say is, to go off of really cool things, the Suns. If you're a Suns fan and you're watching, and we're getting blown out by, I don't even know what the final score was. We were down 30 when I last looked, and it doesn't matter. The organization as a whole doesn't care about preseason. They don't care about summer league. I don't think the Suns have ever tried to win summer league. Even when we drafted DeAndre Ayton, he played the first game and then they sat his ass. They were like, no, we know what he's going to do. He's our number 1 pick. Of course he's starting. they just don't care about this type of stuff. So getting blown out sucks, and it sucks to watch because you want to see Chris Paul mesh with these new guys and figure it out. But I think they put their work in practice when nobody else can see. And that's just kind of what they do as an organization. So hopefully that's what's happening here. Hopefully they turn around. I have high hopes for them. I'm not really worried, but it's going to be weird the whole NBA season as a whole, because they're doing this thing where they're going into these cities and playing 2 games before they leave. And it's really cool because you get to make those adjustments. And the regular season's not about making adjustments for specific teams.
Yeah.
So we're going to get to see those. And we saw that tonight, at least with the Jazz and the Suns. The Jazz came out and knew exactly what to do. Like, they made their adjustments and really shut us down on the defensive side, which is what the Jazz are good at. So it's cool to see that. I think the coaches will be a lot more valuable in the regular season as they're making those adjustments in those situations where you're coming to LA and you're playing 4 games before you leave again. You really have that time to lock in and figure it out.
The only thing I'm not looking forward to in that is, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if it's going to be every time, but I can only envision it being every time that you're going to have the same refs for both games. And
yeah, probably.
With the Cavs, we had the same set of refs, and they were very ticky-tacky. If you didn't take the ball and throw it right to the ref, if you just kind of lobbed it and it went 3 feet, delay a game. Like, just dumb, just even more so than the NBA has become in the last 7 years.
Well, preseason, I think, is preseason for the refs too, right? Like, you probably didn't have a guy that's going to be put into the big game.
And that's the thing that really sucks about the beginning of season for sports, is because just like with the NFL teams, the coaches have, all right, we have this, and this we need to improve on. Yeah. Same shit with the refs. And they're saying, I guarantee you delay a game was probably one of the big pieces for them. And here we go. Here we fucking go. So, yeah. That was one of the things. That's a concerning thing for me. I like it. It's really going to help shine for a lot more of the coaches than the stars. Teams that have a plethora. Miami, for example, might end up with the number 1 seed and do the damn thing just because of how great their organization is top to bottom when it comes to coaching and adjusting to teams. And to be able to get a first game and possibly a second game and only have to see this team twice now instead of back and forth 4 different times. Yeah, I can see teams like Miami being able to route.
For sure. So the basketball season doesn't start before next podcast. Next podcast will come out on opening night or opening morning, I guess. So we'll get one more little preseason snippet next week, because as the preseason goes along, the better guys will play. LeBron and AD will play at some point. Probably not. Who knows? But we'll give it a little rundown and what our expectations for the season are next week. But you wanted to talk about saving the city of Cleveland with what your owner did, your previous owner. What about Save the Crew? The city of Columbus is saved. A couple years back, I know you guys, a lot of you listeners are not MLS fans unless you're on the LAFC bandwagon. But Save the Crew was a hashtag that went around Twitter a couple years ago because Columbus was thinking about selling the team. And everybody on Twitter wanted this team. Columbus is an old team. We want them to stick around. They were Ohio until Cincinnati, who sucks, came into the league. So we finally, I say we, I'm not a Columbus fan, but I wanted to see the Crew be saved. They saved the Crew. They did it. The team was just good enough. The city decided to give some money. The owner didn't sell. Blah, 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 blah. And now a couple years later, they won the MLS Cup. They crushed Seattle 3-0, the biggest win in MLS Cup history, at least with a shutout, 3 goals. So absolutely just awesome to the Crew. I'm happy because Seattle didn't repeat, which is something I really did not want to happen. Seattle seems to be the class of the MLS right now. So anytime you can see the class lose is good. But hey, shout out to the Crew. Good job. They're black and yellow. That translates to black and gold pretty well.
Black and yellow. Yeah, and the way they were able to beat Seattle, just completely dominate in every aspect, really. That I don't understand how soccer players do that. That's why I don't think I'd ever be able to do it. I can't imagine being able to, you're here right in front of me as the goalie, 15 yards away, and the goal's 5 yards behind you, but the dude's able to bend the ball on the ground around the goalie. It's fucking ridiculous to me, man. But that was sick. The whole game was pretty fun to watch.
Zelarayan is an amazing player. It's sad that he's not American, but we should get him some dual citizenship so he could try to play for us. But I think he plays for like some crappy team that never makes the World Cup. So.
But yeah, if you're a fan of MLS and you have your own teams and all that stuff, you're probably in agreement that you don't want Seattle. Seattle's becoming kind of like you said, the Patriots of the MLS. So that was very great to see.
Absolutely. But LAFC, of course, we talked about their disappointing season, but they are back in business Wednesday for the CONCACAF Champions League. If you remember, before the world shut down in March, we beat Club Leon in the first round of that. So now we have to play Cruz Azul, which it is setting up perfectly for LAFC. I don't know if our new signings are going to be able to play. I'm not really sure the rules on that, but we have 2 new defensive signings. So if they're able to play, we can actually have a defense that's kind of at least somewhat put together. Of course, we have the normal guys until we sell Rodriguez and Rossi, which should probably happen before next season, but we'll have them for the CCL. Plus, Cruz Azul just fired their manager because they had a shitty season in Mexico. So they don't even have a manager. I don't think they care about the CCL because Mexico seems to always win it. And so this could be the year that an MLS team wins the CCL because we get to play Cruz Azul, which is should be a little easier. They're a tough team, but with no manager and stuff like that. And they don't care when it's not their season. We should be able to sneak past them. Seattle is probably going to beat their team. And then we have 2 other guys over on the side, which we'll probably lose, but we should have a 50-50 shot to win this thing.
Hell yeah.
So go America, but go LAFC. I don't want it to be Seattle winning the first CCL for America either.
When the fuck does professional soccer players get time off? What is it, like a month and a half collectively?
If you're a superstar, you don't. If you're one of the best players in the country, you don't because you have to do the international
2 weeks
trips
off.
you have.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's
holy shit. Even just the club teams, like you were alluding to, they don't even get time off really. If you're a good team, because like it was the top 4 teams that made the CONCACAF Champions League, or well, the top 3 Americans and then the Toronto, which is MLS. But so you just you never get to rest if you're one of the good teams. Galaxy have been resting a lot these last couple of years, but you don't. But that's just soccer, man. It's just what it is. It's kind of like some of those sports you expect to just play a lot longer, a lot more. Baseball, you expect to go the whole year, and then in football, they're like, "Oh, we can't go. It's 3 months. We've already done our thing." So it's just how it is. The last thing to talk about before we take our break and move to football, the Cleveland Indians finally decided that they're not going to be the Cleveland Indians anymore. I guess finally thoughts of racism and all that won out, which is fine. I mean, I don't think the Cleveland Indians are racist. Their mascot picture guy was kind of crazy with the cigar and the goofy stuff, but they already changed that. And so now they're going to change Cleveland Indians. What do you think about that? Do you think that all the Native American ones, except so far the Seminoles have that agreement, but do you think they're all seeing the same way as Washington and Cleveland and these guys?
Not Washington is different. Washington is completely different. Cleveland Indians, I don't really see it as too much. I mean, yeah, it's a mascot, but at the same time, you have all kinds of these crazy different mascots and stuff like that. But it's just weird to me that it was so delayed. I would have figured it would happen when the whole football team and all that stuff and the speculation and the whole Gator chomp and it's funny that the players are still doing it running onto the field and stuff like that. But I would have expected it to happen then. It's just weird to me that it's happening now, and I don't personally really see it. It doesn't seem like it was anything ill-willed. We all know the Redskins back in the day. It was nothing to support the Indian people and the Native Americans in any way at all. Right. And in Cleveland, it doesn't look like, and it never has looked like that they were slandering Indians or Native Americans in any type of way, any tribe in any way. unlike the Redskins. So I see that. It's just weird to me that it would happen now. And especially after they got a new stadium like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So now they got to go through and redo all of that.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be pretty crazy.
Hey, shout out to them for doing that though.
Yeah, you might as well. Like you said, I don't think anybody even thinks that they're doing anything poorly. I said the views of racism, not that we view the Indians organization as racist, but that's just the nature of that name. And so now I think we have we have the Blackhawks still, we have the Braves in pro, and then of course like the Seminoles and those guys. But the Seminoles, they doubled down. The Seminole chief, the actual like Seminole Indian chief, he doubled down and said, no, we want this. That was back when all the gator chomping stuff was happening. So I don't think they have anything to worry about unless they just hear it from the uppity white people that think that they're being racist,
And that's kind of what I feel like it is with the Indians. Because I mean, if I feel like with the Braves and stuff, it's kind of like in the 7th inning, if it's a night game, they turn the lights off and they start flashing them, and they all do their tomahawk and all that stuff. And that's more of a celebration thing to me. That's not a mock. That's not anything ill-willed whatsoever. And I think that's more of what's inside the souls of the people that are able to make these decisions that are doing it. And that's what's really weird to me.
It's 2020, man. That's the thing.
Yeah.
They should have done a thing like the Seminoles do, which we hate the Seminoles. We hate them a lot, but I do like that whole like Renegade and Chief Osceola thing that they do before the games with the horse. It's pretty sweet. And it's a tribute to the Seminole people. So pretty cool. All right. So let's take a break real quick and let's talk about our sponsor, Manscaped. They are here to help you with all your grooming needs. And they have the best stuff for your junk, man. I don't know what else to say, but we've said about it a couple times. They are the best.
Absolutely, man. Back in the day, the Seminole Indians actually used to have to use their tomahawks to shave their areas. Bro, could you imagine? Especially
I wouldn't shave. Pretty sure.
Yeah, right. That's why everybody was just
Yeah, exactly.
But thankfully, we do have the Lawnmower 3.0. It is absolutely amazing. I almost want to use it on my beard because it's starting to catch.
Buy another one.
I'm more than likely going to.
Yeah.
But it works so good. So good down there. That's probably why they don't give you a longer guard. Because they don't want you. They don't want you using it on your face and your balls at the same time.
There's people that do that shit already.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Because I used to just do everything. I never tried to keep any hair anywhere.
Oh, I do it. I have a hair cutting razor and it does not work as well as the Manscaped razor. It just doesn't, but it's also like 20 years old. So yeah,
mine's starting to dull out. So I've thought about using it. It is literally the best razor I've ever used on my face or on my balls. It's great.
It is. It really is. And then after you use this thing, you get all these cool products if you use the Perfect Package 3.0. But even if you don't, you should go buy some of these products. The Crop Preserver. I like mix two together. Crop Preserver is this really good cream that you throw on after you take a shower and you've already shaved and you're nice because I shave in the shower. So you're already shaved, you're good to go. And then you just pop this cream on there and it's good the rest of the day. And if it's not for whatever reason, if you're running a mile or something and you got a little extra, you got the Crop Reviver and you spritz that bad boy on there and you're back to normal. You don't have to go take another shower, which you probably should if you're doing too crazy of physical activities, but that's a different podcast.
I will say
you have
too,
all that stuff.
And I've been in the middle of doing doubles in this kitchen, and halfway through, I've needed to throw a little bit of that preserver on to try to preserve a little bit of the moisture. Yeah, and it has done wonders. I've been years that I haven't had that, and I've gotten that feeling and knew that night was going to be fucking hell. And I've been great so far.
No, you don't chafe, you don't do anything, do you? I mean, I haven't left my couch in 9 months, but
I mean, I lather that stuff. I'm pretty smart with it. I lather it all. I put some on my balls so you don't get that chafe on your balls. Because usually back in the day when I used to do the cornstarch on the thighs, it would make a little bit of gravy, which it was disgusting, but I wouldn't really chafe. But up at like my balls and that little bit that would hit my thighs, that would still always chafe. But hey, that little bit was better than my whole legs. So I kind of dealt with it. So now I just get all that stuff, and after being in the kitchen for 4 or 5 hours, get an hour break, get something to eat, preserve them balls and them thighs a little bit, and you're good to go, man.
Absolutely. It's the best stuff, man. We've talked about it many times. Go on there, get the Perfect Package. I'm saying it's a gift time. It's Christmas time. We probably have a Christmas read that we're supposed to do, but they don't really care or like us that much. But it's Christmas time. It is the best gift. And what better than giving the best gift to your significant other? I don't know if there's ladies that listen to this, maybe gay men, I don't know. But what's better than giving the gift to your significant other than saving money on it? Your guy will be happy. If somebody bought me something and told me I saved 20% on this and got free shipping, whoo, boy, we'd be having fun that night. So head over to manscaped.com, use our code no scrubs, all one word, and you will get that 20% off. You will get free shipping. If you buy the perfect package with it, you'll get the free boxer briefs. You'll get the free leather case. You'll get it all perfect. You should get it just in time for Christmas. So you can hand it to that guy that you love, or the girl. I mean, I guess they can womanscaped. I don't know if they do that, but
better wear that now if you're on the East Coast.
Oh yeah, I mean it's getting close if you're on the East Coast, but you get the free shipping. It's probably about 10 days though, so you better get hurried on it, and it's probably backed up anyway. But do it. Use our code. Buy no scrubs. What? Buy no scrubs. Buy Manscaped. Manscaped.com. Enter the code no scrubs at checkout. All right, man. Football season's still going.
Fuck
Not for you. I had to. So I wanted to confess it on the podcast, and I know you don't care because you guys suck, but I had to pick the Titans in my Eliminator Challenge this weekend, and it went perfectly, exactly like I thought it was going to.
So the only thing that mattered in that game, if you watched the second half and didn't look at the scoreboard, it looked like we were doing pretty fucking good. It looked like we were.
Well, Gardner Minshew came in there and did his thing.
Yes, and I feel like that solely alone, Doug Marrone holding him back the last 2 weeks and going with Glennon, who, yeah, he's a solid backup, but he's not a playmaker. He's not going to be able to extend the play. He can't go beyond the play that is called. And that's what Minshew pretty much is going to make his money in the NFL on, is being able to come in there as that type 2 quarterback, that backup quarterback who can give a spark. Taysom Hill, he's definitely going to be a Taysom Hill type if he ends up in a system like that, for sure. Thinking about it now, fuck yeah, I can see that. But
for it to take 3 weeks for that decision to be made, and having a piss poor first half, and having to have the fans you could hear them collectively, and you could hear the individual ones coming through the screen wanting Gardner Minshew. And then finally he comes out of the second half and should have put up 2 tutties in the first 2 drives, but the refs are fucking ass in the NFL and didn't let that happen. And so, yeah, but I'm excited for next year, man. Hopefully we get rid of Doug Marrone. If we don't, hopefully we get rid of our defensive fucking coordinator. Hopefully we get rid of everybody. I mean, it's Nathaniel Hackett. He's killing it in Green Bay right now. And a couple years ago, I had a Facebook status saying Nathaniel can't hack it. Get him the fuck out of here. Looks shitty. And him and Aaron are up there doing wonders. But maybe it's just Jacksonville. I don't know if it's something in the river or not. But
there's definitely something in the river.
I'm excited, and everybody's talking about Justin Fields at 2. We need to go line with our first 15,000 picks and worry about our offensive line and give our quarterbacks more than 2 seconds in the pocket. Give them about 2.5 instead of 1.2.
Well, that's why what you were saying, like, you don't want that second pick. You don't think you need it. If you don't need a quarterback, having the second pick is either trade bait or almost useless, because what they're going to do is they're going to draft Justin Fields. They're going to get rid of Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew is going to look good somewhere else, and Justin Fields is going to be a bust, and it's going to be the same story.
Same bum-ass line. Cam Robinson's still going to be there. Andrew Norwell still getting overpaid. Brandon Linder, the only good one at the center.
And that's what's going to make Justin Fields look bad. I'm not saying that Justin Fields is going to be bad, but if you have that bad line, it just is not going to work out. And I don't think Justin Fields is going to be great, but he definitely won't be great with a bad line. So the Bucs didn't really look great. They needed Dan Bailey to not understand how to kick a football to really come away. We still would have won, probably. I mean, obviously game situation changes if he's making these kicks, but Dalvin Cook was making us look bad, which he does with a lot of teams, but we just don't look like we're ready to play. It's like we've already just said like, we'll wait for the playoffs. We don't care. The Saints are doing their thing, but they lost. So it's like they would have to lose all 4 games. So I think it looks like our team is just like, well, the Saints, after they beat us the second time, they clinched it. we'll try to win, but whatever. And that kind of sucks. And it's weird because it coincided with Antonio Brown coming onto the team. And Antonio Brown has not done anything bad. He hasn't done anything wrong. We don't know of any locker room issues that he's having. Everybody says everything's good, but that's when the team started to look like they don't care as much, is right when he showed up. And so that's kind of weird. But we won.
Something that has to be good from that game is you kind of developed a run game there, and haven't seen that up to that point at all, really. And not even the effort to do it. You have Ronald Jones maybe getting 10, 11 carries, and then Fournette getting a couple. Now you have Shady getting how? Hold on. Yeah, he had 4 carries. Wow, I thought he only touched like twice. 4 carries, 32 yards. Ronald Jones, 18. Well, yeah. So I thought you guys had about 30, 35. It only was about 30, 27, 28 carries. But that was a hell of a lot more than in recent weeks.
Yeah.
And you were able to come out of the play action, which Tom loves to do and thrives off of. And passing really wasn't there too much. But it seems like you said, I wouldn't say like it's the continued rehearsal. Now you're trying to get that run in. Now you're trying to get a little bit of Tom Brady's offense in, because I feel like Bruce is realizing that offense that he likes to run probably isn't going to put up enough points to get that defense out of the trenches.
Yeah. It's funny because I think that Bruce kind of told Tom at the beginning of the year, like, yo, this is my team. We're going to do this. We're going to do it my way. And like, obviously he's the GOAT, so you've been to him a little bit, but it looks like throughout the season, Bruce is really going, well, all right, Tom, let me get your input. And it's starting to bend a little bit towards more what Brady would want than just what Bruce Arians has always done. And Bruce Arians, by the way, was an offensive coordinator in Pittsburgh. He knows how to run the ball. He knows what to do. It's not like he's only a passing guy, but his scheme molded into becoming passing because that's the kind of people he had, the quick trigger, get the ball out of your hands in half a second kind of quarterbacks. And so that's where he turned it into. But if Tom can tell him, hey, I'm not scared, let me run the play action, it's fine, we can do it, then I think it'll start to work. But nobody else in the NFC looks scary. We talked about it last week a little bit. It's really just Green Bay. And if we can get there, and if we can play, the NFC East almost looks scarier than the NFC West right now with Washington football team doing their thing. But I'm not scared of anybody. I'm not scared of, and I know we've lost to the Saints twice, but I think they're going to lose in the first round of the playoffs to whoever they play. They just don't look like the team without a healthy Drew Brees, without Michael Thomas doing Michael Thomas things. So it's just Green Bay. And we've already beaten Green Bay once. Our team should have the confidence to beat them. And even over on the AFC side, Kansas City doesn't look unbeatable. Pittsburgh doesn't look unbeatable. The Browns just got beat tonight. So the Ravens.
It's just so fucking crazy how the Chiefs are able to go on such huge spurts, man.
Yeah, they just score so fast.
On both sides of the ball, they score so fast. And then their defense goes out and just causes 3 and outs and 3 and outs and 3 and outs. And the next thing you know, they're on a 24-0 run. And Miami's stadium is quiet as shit. And it was just rocking, looking like they were about to go 9-4 and shock the world.
But this is like the 4th game in a row that the Chiefs look uninterested. And do you think it's just like the regular season? They really are uninterested. And then they're like, oh, shit, sorry, Tyreek, we need to score real quick. And then boom, they score real quick. And it's that, like, do you think when the playoffs come, they'll do the same thing they did last year and they'll be like, oh, it's the playoffs again? And
I hope not.
Do their thing.
Because if that's the case and I'm Andy Reid, I'm showing these games, this Arizona State game where it's 70-7.
Yeah.
And I'm telling him, why the fuck can't we do this?
Right.
Next time we don't do this, everybody's getting fined. You are going to hate Tuesday's practice. You're not going to have a day off on Monday. We're just going to do walkthroughs while you're wanting to rest.
But you're winning the playoffs, so why matter? Why do you care? You're winning the championship.
Once. Could have had it twice.
No, I'm saying if they turn it back on and do it this year, they're going to have it twice and then should have been 3.
I don't know, man. If you're not going undefeated everywhere and you're not really worried about losing, because if you lose once in the playoffs, you're gone. You don't get a second chance.
Yeah, but they're not worried about losing. They still haven't lost. They have 1 loss, and that's taking it easy. But yeah, I mean, to barely beat the Broncos, to barely beat the Dolphins. Yeah, the Dolphins look a little better, but to barely beat these teams is, I don't think, good. But
I don't think it is.
so hopefully it's the Bucs year, man. I'm back on after we lost 2 in a row and they didn't look great. I was like, man, this sucks. This bet is out of the water. But today I was looking up hotels in Vegas just to get ready, to make sure I'm ready. Because if I do go, I'll be too drunk to drive back. I'll have to get a hotel for Sunday night. But I'm ready. I'm ready again. Tom's got me going. He's going to win the Super Bowl. What other football stuff do we have? I know we have some college stuff to throw out. But what
tonight?
other NFL? This game tonight, Monday night football. I didn't even watch. I checked the score, and the Ravens looked like it was going pretty well. So I was like, I'm just going to play video games till the podcast because they're just doing their thing. The Browns are the Browns. But then you texted me that the end of this game is crazy. And I was like, what do you mean the end of this game is crazy? And then you gave me a little rundown, which I'll let you do here in a second. But I had to turn it back on and watch the end. And I was happy I did because I got to see a Baker Mayfield touchdown again. And then Lamar finished it off. But give a quick rundown of just the ending, at least, like the crazy stuff here.
Yeah, just it was insane. Just the fact that, what was it? I think it was 34 to 20. And it looked like the Ravens were going to do their thing, as you said. And the Browns came up and just got a quick 17. Was it 17? No, 7. Quick 15, turning at 35-34. And I was still keeping an eye on it as we were playing video games, watching it. I don't know what the hell happened because it was that score, 35-34, whenever I took the TV from the bedroom and put it in here, but McSorley was in. And I'm fucking down for some McSorley. I love me some McSorley. Didn't really know what happened to Lamar, and then it came over that he was in the locker room. McSorley goes out, he throws a couple of completions, then gets a first down, gets some PI. They're going. Then it gets the third down, and he tangles up his knee. Like, it twisted, it wrapped up. His foot got stuck, and he was trying to turn, and it didn't, and it looked bad. And then the announcer says, well, Lamar's in the locker room. If Trace is really hurt, who's going to be their quarterback? And then a camera goes to Lamar running out of the tunnel, hauling ass down the sideline, grabs his helmet, puts it on, goes out. They go to a TV timeout. They come back. Trace walks off. They get Lamar in, going in the huddle. Touchdown. Game over.
Yeah, and Hollywood Brown was so open on that too. I don't even know what happened.
Well, the safety was being a fucking duck. I'm pretty sure it was either an extra safety, like an extra DB that was there with him, or it was a linebacker. So if it was a linebacker, his natural instinct is going to come in to Lamar. Yeah. Maybe it was if it was a safety, one of the extra DB, maybe his assignment was coverage, then Lamar contained. But that fucking safety that came up into that play, you do not leave your assignment. That was absolutely asinine. That's another Raiders, Jets all over. I mean, that coverage from the Jets was absolutely horrible. But this one at the end of it, when you look at, if you do a still picture, it looks absolutely insane because them two guys there were not on the same page. And yeah, it either was going to be a Lamar Jackson first down, obviously, but then slung it out, get the touchdown. Browns helping them out at the end there, calling timeouts and shit.
Yeah, that was just weird. When the Ravens scored there, the game should have been over. But Baker, to give a shout out to the losing quarterback, man, Baker played himself a game. And it's funny because he hasn't always looked like he can do that. And then one game a year or a couple games or a game every other week or so, he looks really good. And he looked really good tonight.
Completions he had, because in that first quarter, he did not look good. He had 19 incompletions. But yeah, I saw a good 5 or 6 incompletions that were just horrible throws in that first quarter to start the game. It was probably the first half. But that last drive that they were able to put together and go down and score and tie it up was fucking awesome. But
then Justin Tucker is Justin Tucker.
To have Justin Tucker is the best weapon in the world. Best weapon. I mean, if your team isn't all in it and doing all that big trust, and you can see that affects that team a lot this year. The kickers aren't like that. They don't need that. They're all in here. They don't need all that big trust and all that stuff to get going like a lot of the other good teams really like that camaraderie and stuff, and that helps to give them that extra gear. If the kicker doesn't have that extra gear coming out of college, they're probably going to be in the Canadian Football League somewhere doing something.
Right.
So
And Justin Tucker's the best in the business.
The best. He's absolutely insane. If only we could get him to be 19, 20 years old again and go to UF and play fucking DB, not throw a fucking shoe, and then play kicker and make a fucking 51-yarder like you've done every other goddamn time you've kicked a fucking ball beyond 50.
Yep. So let's shift to college, and one of the worst podcasts that we have for college football, because nothing went good in college football this week. The Gators were playing LSU in just a shit game that they didn't even need to play. I don't know why they made us play it, but we had an open week. I guess we decided we were going to do it, but it looked like we didn't care. This was supposed to be our week off before we play Alabama, and it wasn't. And we knew it wasn't. It's not like we weren't prepared, but the guys came out looking not prepared. But we were still the better team on paper, not on the field. But we were the better team, so we were going to find a way to win. And that's exactly what we're doing. Going to find a way to win. It's tied. We have Kyle Trask. He's turned it back on. He's figured out what he's doing. And we stopped him on third down. You'd think you stopped them on third down. They're supposed to be punting. Our dumbass guy, I just saw a flag. I thought they called it on the hit. And so I texted you. I was like, this pansy ass football now is going to cost us the game. And you were like, no, that player cost us the game. And then they showed the replay of dude chucking a shoe 20 yards down the field. But the big hero of the game is that ref who came out and he called it like it was. He was like, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 3. It was number 3, right? I don't want to disparage somebody else on the team. Number 3, defense, throwing the shoe 20 yards down the field. I was like, oh, dang, he's really putting it down. But that's probably because the fans were probably giving him shit. So he kind of like explained himself on the thing. But the Gators threw away their playoffs with one shoe.
Literally threw it away.
And Trask proved that he could have been the guy to get him down the field. And if he would have had more time, he easily could have got him in the end zone if they wanted to. But he gets them down for one of the greatest kickers in Gator history to do a long field goal, but a field goal he's more than capable of doing. And he had the distance on it. He just pushed it wide left. And what can you do? And it just barely too. I mean, it was barely. Right there.
About a foot and a half to the right. Yeah, man, that had me sick. Just the heart that team showed just to be able to stay in that. You could definitely tell that was LSU Super Bowl.
Yeah, and we, like I said, we came out. You talked about the heart, but the heart was after we showed no heart at the beginning. That we did. We looked like we didn't care to be here.
Came out in halftime and was ready to rip some faces. Kyle Trask. Shout out to him. The man that he is, the leader that he is. He definitely showed that a lot. And yeah, he only had 4 tutties, 2 in the air, but he definitely, I feel like in that loss, I know he's probably not going to Heisman now, but in that loss, his draft stock should have definitely went up a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
They were able to put up points on our defense, of course, but we were able to just skim that fucking defense apart. And that was without Pitts. And if we would have had him, who knows what would have happened.
They held him back because it was LSU and he had been hurt, obviously. But you got to apparently
he was out there in warmups. Todd McShay said that he looked amazing in warmups.
Well, he played last week. Like, it's not like he was anything bad.
Yeah. So they're definitely, we're looking forward to Alabama. So best case scenario, we go out and beat Alabama, and Notre Dame beats Clemson, and the people decide that Ohio State shouldn't get in, and since we're the SEC champs, we should get in over A&M. That's it. That's fucking it.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because, like, honestly, all that will happen now, like Texas A&M will just get more of a boost if we win the championship. They'll be like, oh, Texas A&M beat the SEC champ. Like, instead of just being like Texas A&M beat Florida. This loss sucks for Texas A&M if we lose to Alabama, but it's good for them if we beat Alabama. So Ohio State, let's talk about Ohio State then. Let's get off our team that we're mad at. Why the fuck does Ohio State get to get in with 5 wins? The Big Ten just lets Ohio State run the whole conference. This is ridiculous. It's stupid. Make them go play Akron or some shit. Like, let them get a win.
Without Ohio State, Big Ten's probably not a Power 5 conference anymore. That's where they make all their
Yeah,
money.
then they
They
just
get it
become
all
the
from.
Pac-12. You know, it happens.
They have to let them in to give them a shot to get into the playoffs. I feel like before this season started, they should have came out and had a clear cut for the playoffs. You have to play at least 8 games.
Well, they do. They have the law. They have the rules. You can't make
Yeah.
your conference championship game if you haven't played 6 games. They
Well,
played
no.
5, and the Big Ten changed the rules.
Yeah.
So it doesn't
that's
matter what the
saying.
rules are before the season.
No, the playoffs, the college playoff committee should have came out before the season and made like shit clear. Like they have to play at least 8 games to get into the college playoffs. Like it, how can you? That's like when we were in high school, all right? Because they went half the year, all right?
Yeah.
Even though they made all fucking A's up to the end of the first semester, if you don't show up that second semester, you're going to get a 50%, which is a fucking F. You failed. You didn't do
Yeah.
good enough. So just that there, plain and simple, it's when you put in layman's terms like that, yeah, they shouldn't get in. Why they're going to, I have no idea. Yes, they're going to beat Northwestern. Yes, they're probably going to beat them by a lot. And they're going to get in probably as the 3rd seed.
So the Gators, just to be realistic, like you said, the Gators obviously have to beat Alabama. And do you think that puts us above Alabama if we beat Alabama, or still no? That would be the argument, right? Because if Notre Dame wins, so that Clemson has the 2 losses and they're not a conference champ, Ohio State's
Northwestern
getting
would have to win. Northwestern would have to win.
because so if we beat, but if we beat Alabama, let's just think like who's below us before these votes come out. Because we would be ahead. I think we could be ahead of Alabama if we beat Alabama potentially.
After winning the SEC championship?
Yeah. Like in the college football playoffs. So Notre Dame would be ahead of us. Ohio State would obviously be ahead of us. I think Texas A&M might still be in ahead of us.
Yeah.
And it would be an argument. It would be an argument between us, Alabama, Clemson, and is there anybody else below us?
Cincinnati still has an argument to get in too. Like
they dropped down though. Iowa State jumped them, right? Or whoever it was. 3-loss Iowa State jumped them because they didn't play last week. But yeah, if they beat Tulsa, I guess they will have an argument as well. But I don't think they could get in. I think we could potentially be better in the committee's eyes than an Alabama or a Clemson if Clemson doesn't have the ACC championship and we handily beat Alabama. We can't beat them in overtime on a field goal or anything. But
yeah. Why do I keep talking about?
So there's still a chance, but I almost don't want us to get in. I want that Wilson to really realize what the hell he did.
Only kind of pissed me off with his comments the next day. Came out saying, you can't really get mad at the guy.
He said it's an unfortunate event or whatever.
Yeah. Like, no. I mean, I get I made some really fucking dumb choices between the ages of 18 and 22 that involved more than throwing a shoe. But at the end of the day, I'm a huge fan, and you cost the team.
Well, see, it is a dumb choice, and I'm sure he wasn't thinking or whatever, but he should also own the consequence of it. Like, you did your time. Now you got to, understand the penalty for it.
When I worked at Subway when I was 19, I couldn't yeet a sub into the food court and not get fired.
That would be awesome. I would want you to yeet. I'd catch that bitch. Woo,
fuck you, Jared!
Yeah, so that's kind of how that's going to go. But the last college football, it's not a shout out because I don't want to shout him out. We talked about Mackenzie Milton leaving UCF last week, and we kind of speculated where he could go. We were right. So we were right on the pod last week. You heard it here. I think I even said, remember this because I'm saying it here first. I'm pretty sure I said that. He went to FSU. He chose, so my connections were correct. He did choose FSU. And FSU is kind of happy about it because they don't have a quarterback. He's going to be their quarterback. But what they also don't have is an offensive line. And I'm a little scared for Mackenzie Milton with the offensive line they showed and their coaching staff that's not that good. And hopefully it's just our blue and orange colored glasses that are seeing FSU is so bad, but pretty sure FSU is bad and it's going to be a problem for KZ.
2016, he was running around all over the place for UCF. So,
but he's not. They shouldn't want him to do that.
No, I'm not saying for play calling and shit like that. I'm saying just because of how our line was.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's used to it, and yeah, he used to be very evasive. We'll see if he's still able to be that after his surgery.
I hope he looks good against
Yes.
Power 5 opponents. I hope he does his thing. I hope he somehow makes it to the NFL. I honestly never thought he was going to make it to the NFL. He's too small. Even before the injury, I didn't think he was an NFL quarterback, but he wants to be, and we love him. So hopefully he gets to be, but fuck FSU, and I hope they lose.
We'll see you at the end of November next year, boy.
You think they do that? That'd be awesome.
Do you think we're just gonna do all SEC games again next year? Oh, you
Well,
talking?
no, they'll have the vaccine. I thought you meant like for a bowl game. They'll throw UCF in a bowl game with FSU.
Oh no, I'm talking about the end of the year next year.
Dude, they might.
It
If
should be around
FSU
November.
finishes like 6-6 and
What
UCF,
was, what was the Saturday this year? The 20.
it's like the week after
No, it'll
Thanksgiving,
be-
right?
I think it'll be Dad's birthday.
Um,
Either 28th or the 29th of next year.
It should be around there. But dude, they could do that. The committee would definitely do that. If there's a 6-6 FSU and we go 8-3 again or something, they would do that. They'd go, all right, the McKenzie Milton Bowl, done.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. I'd take
How
that.
about UCF going early into get the bowl, choosing the Boca Bowl, and a lot of the fans were kind of pissed off that they went early, and then they ended up drawing BYU.
That's rough, man. The fans are happy again. They're like, oh, we get BYU, and they're home. Sorry, they're not home, but they're home. So there's going to be the fans that are allowed to be there are pretty much all going to be UCF. Nobody's coming from Utah to watch a bowl game against UCF if you're BYU. No offense, UCF fans. That's just how college fans are going to think. Nobody's traveling during COVID again to go play UCF when you're ranked BYU. But yeah, this is going to be a tough game, a really tough game. I think we've looked better than our record. Of course, we said that our losses are close losses, but the problems are glaring. They're massive. We have huge problems.
It's
And
horrible.
this quarterback is going to be able to just pick apart those problems. The Cincinnati quarterback, who is not near as good as the BYU quarterback, made us look stupid.
Yeah,
So,
Zach Wilson's the truth, bro.
Zach Wilson is going to make us look even stupider, and it's going to be a problem. So Dylan Gabriel's just going to have to, again, put us on his back and say, I got you guys. And he might. He's gotten us before, but he's going to have to say, I got you guys, because the defense ain't going to be able to do it. Not at all.
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, I'll be there. That'd be fucking awesome.
Did you put in? Oh yeah, you did put in. I haven't
Yeah.
seen any emails yet, so
Yeah, I doubt it.
just show up anyway. Just walk in, get a badge, get like a little like hall pass. Like,
Give me your
just like go
LAFC.
complain. Be like, dude, this is they didn't send me anything. They sent me this, or say they called you, because I mean they'll be like, we send emails. You'll be like, nah, man. They called me. Jim called me. Who's Jim? I don't know, but he called me. They'd be like, you got scammed. Then you start raising a fit. No, don't do that. It'll bring down the podcast name. But hopefully you get
I hope we just get a reply email with somebody's name, so I could do that if needed.
just with a name. Yeah. Yeah. If it says like, no, like, sorry. No, because then they'd have records, but I don't know. Still try it. You live close enough. You can go give it a whirl.
It's like 30 minutes away.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, what else you got? Any shout outs?
No.
Let's check to see. We obviously already shouted out Keontae Johnson, but
Oh yeah, Sarah Fuller.
oh yeah, I
She
guess
had a couple extra points.
she's 2 for
But-
2. Hey, she's 2
But
for
they
2.
have their punter out there going 50% on field goals.
Yeah.
And the one extra point that they showed, her first point, the first one a woman has done in the college football, Power 5.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. But I got another one too. And yeah, but it didn't look that good, the one that they showed. It
Well-
really looked like if anybody would have put their hand up, they probably would have blocked it. So
The thing is, like, teams have done before. Tennessee did this shit where they have a short field goal kicker and a long field goal kicker. I don't know why a team would ever do that, but a team has done that. The problem with them saying that, like, this is kind of the way it's going to be is the punter was taking a short kick. I think he kicked it for like 32 yards. That's a
Yeah.
pretty short kick already. So the guy in Tennessee was only for like the 50 yarders and more. So yeah, that's rough. But I mean, shout out to her. She did her job. You know, she can't tell the coach to put her out on the field. When she went out on the field, she made her kicks. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
and shout out to the
Yes.
Arizona State running back. His last name's He, I think. First Chinese-born player. to
I saw
score.
them interviewing him. It was awesome.
Yeah, Yeah, he suited up last week for the first time, and then this week he got in there and was able to punch a touchdown in.
Arizona was letting everybody score touchdowns on him, though. They didn't care. Yeah, shout out to them, too. Did you see, this is not really a shout out, but I thought it was funny, but did you see that Roger Goodell said he wouldn't skip anyone in the COVID vaccine line? I don't know why that's a story. Like, is Roger Goodell supposed to be like first in the COVID vaccines?
That's so stupid.
Why would anyone assume that he was going to get in the front of the line? I don't know why that's the front page of
He
them
doesn't
who
need,
should not be
he just
named.
needs to be in a room with TVs and a phone. He doesn't have to be
Exactly.
anywhere.
He doesn't see anyone. So shout out to the comedy that is media thinking that that's a real story. But once again, we wanted to book in this to shout out Keontae Johnson and his family. Hopefully he comes back, like we said. Just the way that nobody wants to see that happen. He did test positive for COVID. They are not saying that that's what brought him down, but it could have definitely helped to affect what did bring him down. And so hopefully he's able to come out of this still stable, but stable in critical condition, which is a problem. So come back to us, Keontae. We'll be here for you. Sadly, your teams were not here for you. The Gators lost both basketball and football on the day that they tried to dedicate to Keontae Johnson, but we wish you well. We hope you come back. You're always a stud in our books. And so as always, there's not much more to say. Be a stud, not a scrub.